I received a letter this week from a friend of mine who is here tonight. He said this happened to him 12 years ago. That he found himself in a dream strapped on the back of a bull. But unlike what you see in pictures, when they bring the man in, either injured or maybe shot, when they put him across the back of the bull, he was strapped lengthwise from the head to the tail, with his feet resting on the head of the bull and the body stretched out down to the tail, and looking up at the sky. And he wondered through these years if it had any significance. It has tremendous significance. If you are familiar with symbolism, the bull, long before the Christian era, was the symbol of the Creator. All right? He is strapped to the back of the Creator, but in reverse order. I know from my own experience that that which goes down into generation through the loins of man, by man I mean generic man, male, female, created within, and called their name, man. So, that generation is from below. When man is awakened from the dream of life, within a matter of months, 9 months, he has the experience of the ascent, where the whole thing is reversed. The energy that went down into generation is turned up into regeneration. Now, in Bailey's book, called The Lost Language of Symbolism, you will find many things said about the bull. But there are 2 pages of pictures of the ancient world back before our era, way back in B.C. And they're not nicely drawn, but they did not draw as well in those days. They're all flat. They had no depth to the picture. But here is the face of a bull. And coming out of its head is a cross. And wound around the cross is the serpent. And here below the chin of the bull are the initials of Christ Jesus. It is something preceding the Christian era, and yet there they are, the initials. And here, many of them. So, he is simply so beautifully strapped to the back of the Creator by that energy that he, in this world of decay and death, used in generation, will one day, in the twinkle of a second, be reversed and turned up. Then he will not be strapped that way. He will be the bull. The symbol, for the bull is only the symbol. He will be the Creator. But now he simply expresses it in the creative act physically in the world till the altar. Until that moment in time, which comes just about 9 months after the birth from about. So he saw perfectly, for he saw the symbol of the Creator. Now he certainly did not go to sleep thinking of a bull. He didn't go to sleep thinking of anything of that nature, but these symbols are universal. Whether you'll be in China, or in Africa, or in Europe, or America, the same symbol. Here he is an American, and in this country he had it. The same night, the same moment, someone not knowing anything of America could have had the identical thing, because in the depths of the soul, the symbolism, the imagery, is universal and understood in the universal language. But today man has forgotten that language. And he doesn't know that he has the dream. So you may find it difficult to interpret the dream. But it is a marvelous foreshadowing of that creative power which one day, and I know in the not distant future, we will find the birth, or the dream he told me a few months ago, when suddenly he found himself on the deck of the ship and heading towards the mainland. Well, now that was indicative to me, going towards the mainland. For all the things happen in the interior of the ship, even with his falling in love with the negress, and really felt inclined sexually towards this negress. And yet, in this world, he is happily married to one of his own Caucasian race. But here, in the depth of his soul, he finds himself falling in love. So that's simply the beautiful imagery. Here, he is moving out of that world. He only symbolized the darkness. And now he comes up to the deck, and he moves forward, and he looks, and here is the mainland. He didn't even realize that he was not on the mainland until now the ship has lifted its anchor and set sail for the mainland, going home now. So the going home is prefigured in the story of the bull, because you don't go home until the creative energies are reversed and turned from the generation into regeneration, and regeneration by the resurrection from the dead. So when you read Scripture, bear in mind that the God spoken of is not something that the churches talk about. That the Jesus Christ spoken of is not something that they talk about. It is all within you. The whole drama takes place within the individual. And in the end, the whole vast world you will discover to be contained within yourself. That all things exist in the human imagination, and that is God. And those who will now deny it, all right, I wouldn't raise a finger to persuade them, because I know, give them time, and they will have the identical experience. And having the experience, you can't deny the experience. So even though you fought against it in the beginning, after you've experienced it, well then, all arguments cease. You can't deny the experience. So I say and repeat that until man himself experiences Scripture, he cannot begin to understand how altogether wonderful it really is.